If you start to get lightheaded or something, just stop and your body will come online again. But what I would invite you to do right now is just take one big deep breath and really pay attention to it. Okay, just really feel it lift you up, rise up, and then long, slow release. Just let that release kind of soften through the body. Okay, and then let your breath return to normal. And we'll take a minute to talk about what that did. First of all, there's a lot of research that suggests that that simple move can make a difference, just in terms of your body, your cardiovascular system, what your mind is doing. Because number one, when you really pay attention to a breath, I mean, there's one thing to just take a deep breath and kind of take a deep breath, but the invitation here is to actually pause and notice that breath. And that again breaks the cycle of in the mind and the cycle between the mind and the body, and you're just really just noticing the breath. Also, we talked about this last time, when you really drop in to take a deep breath, you become aware of your body in certain ways. You become aware that prior to that breath, you were probably hunched over, tight. Okay. And by taking that deep breath, you're opening up your chest, opening your arms back. You're just automatically, all these things are happening. And that simple move, it's big in yoga. It's just the opening of the chest, opening your heart can just make a little bit of a difference in terms of how you're feeling in that moment. And the other part of the deep breath is the abdomen. Okay, I'm not saying you need to drop what you're doing and stick your abdomen out and make some massive abdominal breath. But, when we're stressed out, we're tight. Okay, and we may not even realize it. We'll do an exercise that looks at that in just a few minutes. But when you take that big deep breath, you're obviously using your chest, you're straightening up, you're opening your heart. But if you pay attention, you can also soften your abdomen and just notice that there's tightness there almost always. And by really breathing deeply and softening your abdomen, you can actually get the softening to spread throughout your body. So what I'm going to do now is a variation on that deep breath, okay? And that is, I think this was offered by one of the guys at Google that's in charge of well-being there. But he suggests taking 3 deep breaths if you have time. And the first one is simply to just notice the breath, okay? Just really paying attention to that. The second deep breath is to let the breath spread out into the body. Allow it to spread into your arms, your legs, up into your neck and shoulders. So you're rising and kind of feeling the energy, but at the same time with that long, slow release, which triggers what we call the parasympathetic nervous system, the calming part of our autonomic nervous system. That long, slow release, allow that to just really settle through your head, neck, and shoulders. And I'll walk you through this in a second. And just really just allow it to make sure, or allow you to check into your body to soften it if you're able. And the third breath, see if you can bring some sort of kindness to yourself. And that could mean all kinds of different things. It could mean a prayer, if you have a devotional practice, just real brief, like thank you for being my God or something. Or maybe something as simple as putting your hand over your heart and just feeling yourself caring for yourself. So let's take a moment to just try that. So again, just big deep breath, straightening, softening the abdomen. Long, slow release. Just noticing the breath, noticing what it's like in your body as you do this. Then the second one, take in that breath, but allow that breath to spread into your body, lifting, rising, and then long, slow release. Again, letting that releasing move soften through the head, the neck, the jaw, shoulders, abdomen. And then the third breath, something maybe as simple as putting your hand over your heart. Just allowing yourself to feel good, bring something to mind that's important to you. Allowing that third breath to come, pull that goodness in and just hold it and then soften and ease with the release. So that's one real simple resourcing move that doesn't take anything special. You can just drop it in the moment, all being there. So again, the simplest of the body resourcing moves is to just notice what your body's doing. A little more involved would be to do a body scan. Okay, I think we've done this before, but I'll do just a brief one because I want you to experiment with this a little bit. And again, for some people, the body scan doesn't work, aches or pains or whatever, so you don't, need to do this. But maybe just settling into a seated posture that's comfortable for you. Why don't you toss in one of those big, deep breaths? And by the way, I forgot to mention that as we do a deep breath, sometimes it's nice to just go, ah, with the exhalation. Maybe try that. Just inhalation, and if you can do it in the place you're at, just and let that vibration, let that circulate through your body, almost like slipping into a hot tub. And letting the breath return to normal, eyes open or closed. And we'll just check into some of the famous tension points. All right, so let's start with the forehead. Okay, again, if you have tension, headaches, migraines, this can be a difficult area. You do not need to do this practice, like I said, but maybe just notice what we just did with the body. Is there extra tightness here? Maybe up and down with the eyebrows, seeing if there's some extra tightness. I always point out when I do this that people spend hundreds of dollars injecting Botox into these muscles simply because we don't realize how much these little muscles have to deal with the stress we're carrying in our mind. So again, just if you're finding some tension there, see if you can just soften it. Okay. And then coming down to the jaw. And it's not about letting your mouth hang open. It's really about, is there extra tightness here? This is another place that famously carries our stress. And is there more tightness than needs to be there to keep the mouth lightly closed? Sometimes you have to move the lower jaw around a little bit, but just seeing if that's there. And notice as you soften these areas, it tends to spread out. Just like if we tighten up, that tends to spread out. So we're kind of undoing that tendency. And then working down a little bit more into the neck and shoulders. And this is where it often has to come off in layers. Maybe you've heard the expression wearing your shoulders for earrings, just allowing the breath, allowing your mind, allowing gravity to just ease and soften the neck and shoulders. And you can do the same thing with the whole torso. Again, the chest, the abdomen. Just seeing if there's tightness there that doesn't need to be there. Often there is, particularly in the abdomen. So again, just releasing that, noticing how that softening tends to spread out. The same thing, the arms, the legs, just settling into the chair, just allowing the earth, allowing gravity to just melt away the tension. And again, this is something you can do in a matter of seconds, okay, formally, just pausing to do this as opposed to just maybe doing it while someone's talking to you. And it also helps to notice your early warning signs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you to bring up something that's just a little bit stressing you, not the big ones. Maybe it's an interaction you had earlier today, or a frustrating email, or something you need to do that you actually don't really want to do. Just allow that little bit of stress, that little bit of worry, that tension just to come back into you, visualizing the situation if people were there, the email, what needs to be done. Just allow yourself to feel a little bit of that struggle. And as you're doing this, drop into that body scan again. See if anything's tightened up. The forehead, the jaw, the neck, shoulders, abdomen, or any other place. Because what we're doing here is we're just looking for the early warning signs. For me, it's always the neck and shoulders. And if you can recognize that, that's something that you can pay attention to even for a second during your day and see if it's tight, and then realize that, there's some tension here, some stress, and then just softening into that. As we soften the body, it can actually feed back into the mind, softening. So let's try that. Maybe if you brought something up difficult, now let go of that story and attend to your body in a kind manner. Just, all right, let's soften here. Let's ease. And if we go back to the very first session, you can even throw in that self-compassion break. This is about caring for yourself. Maybe putting your hand over your chest, taking that deep breath, maybe with an letting the body ease and soften. Maybe some kind words, whatever this situation was. Hey, we've got this. It's okay. I'm here for you. Just some words of support that you can offer yourself. And we can release that practice. Hopefully I didn't make you more worried in the middle. What this is just simply a graphic representation of how much brain space different parts of our body take up. such that, obviously the feet and the hands are very important for survival, as is the mouth. And that's why a lot of resourcing techniques involve the hands and the feet and even the mouth, because what it does is, again, it takes away that bandwidth. If you're paying attention to your feet and your hands, suddenly you're less likely to be wrapped up in the ruminations. And I'll just go through a few simple ones here. One is to just take your hands and, just rub them together lightly. Okay. And just taking a moment to just notice what that feels like. And you can even slow it down, just really just slowly bringing the fingers across the palm, maybe down into the wrist. This is where you want to maybe throw in one of those deep breaths with an ah, checking into the body, and just let this sensation take over, from all the rumination and worry. And you can try that. I must admit that that doesn't do much for me, but some people really like it. And the other thing I'm going to do very quickly is just your feet, okay? Again, a lot of sensation there, and I want you to experience something, because by paying attention to the feet, they're so far away from the brain, it can actually be kind of valuable. So as you're sitting there, closing your eyes if you wish, maybe another deep breath, softening into your chair, bring your attention to your feet, okay? Really noticing the pressure of the ground against the bottom of your feet, maybe the temperature there, warmth, coolness. You can even wiggle your toes a little bit if you need to. Just noticing the sensations that are coming to you from your feet. A lot of information here. And now I'm going to invite you to think about something, something you're going to need to attend to in a few minutes. Something planning, maybe a little bit of worrying, what's for dinner, whatever, but just start thinking. And as you're thinking about this, cast a sidelong glance to your awareness of your feet. And you'll probably find that you really are no longer as aware of them. So again, practice is just letting go of the thinking and bring your awareness down like a cloud around your feet, and really open to these sensations. Again, wiggling your toes if you need to. This is a classic meditation move. This is what a lot of people like about meditation, just really sensing this ability to gather your attention and put it somewhere you choose to have it, rather than letting your mind run the show. And if you want to, you can bring in that thinking again. What's the grocery list? What homework assignment do you need to do? Watch the awareness of the feet disappear as you do that. And then again, letting go of the thoughts and coming back to the feet. Again, that's just, I'll